Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Friday the 31st of July. This is Kim Watson speaking for Ezeetrader. So, looking at the euro-dollar first, and as you can see yesterday we continued to sell off there. It continued pushing down. It's a little bit bounce coming back into the markets at the moment, running back into the 4 hourly 8 moving average. We're still looking particularly bearish really overall with the lower lows, particularly in the wave formation we've just seen. We've now seen quite a decent retrace from the highs there. I'm just looking at it. It's gone right through to 61.8 as well. I was wondering whether it got back down to 786, but anyway, it could be a continuation. Just looking in the wave formation, it may want to come back up to that 4 hourly 21. Certainly a possibility. There's the hourly 50 above us here, and this may be a bit of a retracement target if it does continue in this mode. However, if it does sell off again, I will be looking for the breaks and maybe even taking a break that's low of this current candle here, back down towards yesterday's lows and the S1 there. So it's certainly got a possibility there. So not the most decisive of markets hit them at the moment. As I say, it's already running into some resistance at this point. If it continues pushing up, well, it may just run up to that 50 MA and the back into 200 YAR1 altogether there. Cable really has got into a bit of a sideways chop here. I mean, it's certainly down the dailies. It's slowing giving out its gains. Yeah, certainly yesterday we were long and it took forever, it seemed, but that's how these markets are through the summer. The patience got to continue. Looking at it at the moment, and we're just sort of pretty much running inside bars on the 4 hourlies, which really reflects this sideward price action. Quite difficult to see which way it's going to go at this point as well, because it's losing its trend effectively as it runs sideward and makes a false movement. So I mean, it's already on the trend line there. Effectively, it's walked its way out sidewards. Put it possibly on the bottom of the current bar, but that would need to be adjusted. Likewise with the upper side, we've walked out this trend from here. It's just walked out of it sideways, so we'd need to again be looking somewhere around this region. So really it's too early to say which way it's going to run at the moment, but with the lower low there yesterday, and I talked about the head and shoulders, which were, well, as it happened, we were long for quite some time, and it looked like it might have even run in towards its R1, but eventually following the US news GDP figure, it started rolling over after that point. But today, that's now triggered that sort of the potential continuation of the lows really, but we'll see how it runs. If it does break down this morning, probably looking at the absolute lows here, we may see it run down towards yesterday's lows and today's S1, but very choppy markets at the moment. Okay, dollar yen managed to break through prior highs there yesterday, and then come back into range. It's just literally ran through, probably hit stops as it ran through, and got a bit of momentum from that, but then just died. Not convincing. At the moment, retracing, heading, well, it's support on the 21 at the moment, 4 hourly 21. Just run through the 50 a little bit there. Again with this market, it's excuse me, I'll clear these out of the way. It's really looking, I mean, it's in a reasonably solid upward trend. If it can maintain that, that's fine, but it's now this more recent sort of since yesterday's highs there, it's looking like it will, maybe it will break to the downside a bit here. I'm just looking to see if there's support. It's already, already broken through the previous support from the highs there. So maybe see it. If we see a breakdown here, well, It's not far towards its R1, maybe come back towards the 100 MA or maybe below, but looking very iffy at the moment. And finally the Aussie dollar. Yeah, lovely. When the market's like this in the mornings, you're just thinking, well, perhaps I should stay in bed for an extra hour. And you've got the same again here, very consolidated price action. There's just no significant trend kicking in effectively, apart from the cyber direction. And again, well, when it's a slow like this, it just walks itself out of trend lines. So pop one across, possibly across that sort of way. So any sort of sudden breakdowns here, well, then it leads us down towards yesterday's lows potentially. But it could be, as we've seen in the last few days, a lot of these moves, you get into them, and if you were to get into them, I've been mainly leaving it alone, although we did have a short yesterday on the Aussie. But in the main, there's a lot of chop through today, and I guess with markets like this, you need to position size accordingly and allow a little bit more stop. Okay, so at the moment, well, in this sort of wedgy sort of pattern, sort of rising movement into the wedge that we're seeing here, perhaps we'll see a push to the upside at some point, but it's, as I say, too choppy to really, is fairly directionless overall. Okay, news-wise today, there's very little out in terms of significant news. We've got European CPI at 10 o'clock, where the German figures already come out, so it's less weighting, and people not that interested in inflation at the moment in Europe. I think it's low on the radar with the situation they've got with Greece, etc. 1:30 we've got Canadian GDP. Well, that's a monthly figure, so it has very little impact, although it's always shown as being high impact. It has pretty little, and that's it really. Employment cost in the index in the US, and very little other data that's of any significance. So could be one of those lovely Fridays that we break early. Okay, have a great day. Bye for